So coming to really, kind of bringing it all together to how we think about it from a digital perspective. So if I look at our strategy, it breaks down into four kind of ideas that are quite important. The first one is the commitment to digital-led transformation. And the idea here is if you can digitize it, if you can simplify it, or rather if you can simplify the customer experience, it forces a simplification back into the bank. And that, if you will, is a NAB story, that, if you will, is a Suncorp story, and that kind of drives a tremendous amount of efficiency into the bank. So digital-led is critical. Second is from an Oracle perspective, there are two types of investments we're making. We are investing in our products, and we are acquiring innovation. So there's as you can see, there's a number of these things may not register with you because some of them are fairly US-centric. But like, for example, Data Logics and BlueKai are what we call our data cloud offerings. And what these offerings are doing is are capturing the complete information of a customer and online and offline spending profile of the customer, tying it together so that if you truly wanted to run a customer acquisition process that was based on not just information you have about the customer within the bank, but also understand the spending behavior of the customer outside of the bank, the e-commerce behavior, the offline behavior of the customer, you can really marry that to run a pretty innovative marketing program to bring to start to acquire the customer. So there's a tremendous amount of innovation happening in this data cloud market where the customer's information is getting captured and being able to use a lot of that, obviously with all the privacy kind of aspects well in place around that. A lot of this is around anonymized information as well. There's again innovation happening in how Endeca, for example, represents the ability to kind of introspect all this data to tie the social listening data that you collect with the data the bank has and bring it all together. So our job as part of the financial services unit is to kind of really take advantage of all these technologies and create a more holistic digital proposition for our banking customers. The third pillar of our strategy is cloud. I mentioned this earlier. Cloud is a huge disruptor for us in our business. It is by far the single biggest disruption that's happened in the last 5 to 7 years for the enterprise software business. And what is very clear to us is the economics of the cloud model are so compelling that the resistance to cloud is really is temporary. And for us as a company, either we start become a cloud company as fast as we can, or we will essentially could become one of those roadkills that happens that are if I go back 20 years and think of all the largest technology companies that were in existence at that time, very, very few of them are in existence now, and it's a handful that are in existence now. So it's very easy to become outdated and irrelevant in the technology world. And so unless we are able to make cloud an absolute natural part of a business, it's a matter of survival for us. So coming back to digital, what that means is the digital offerings we are bringing to the table are going to be available in the cloud, and we fully expect that a lot of banks will adopt them, despite the regulatory and data fears you might have. This is inevitable and very much a core part of our strategy. And the final piece is a more architectural view of things. In order to kind of create this, in order to move from this vertical architecture I spoke about to a horizontal one, you very much need what is a componentized architecture, so you can start picking parts of the new architecture, put them in place, integrate that with your existing investments, and then over time really replace the entire architecture. So we are fully committed to essentially a architecture model that is built this way, because we don't expect any one of you to sort of pick up the new architecture wholesale and be able to replace what you've built over 30 years wholesale. So this componentized architecture is very much a core principle of how we are building our digital solutions. So that in a nutshell is what we are doing. It kind of gives you our perspective. It's been I think, we really are onto something over here in terms of the work we are already doing with banks in the digital space, and feel very, very, very optimistic about how we can help our customers, become digital banks.